I'm back on the Jeep with suspected alternator issues. I had niggling from the previous work I did on it. When I thought about it, I had some issues that I felt I didn't cover in that video. One is voltage spikes could be produced by the alternator, leading to the PCM to suspend any activity, any engine activity. Two, this is a diesel with a BP36 injection pump, which has a fuel cut-off solenoid. I want to be sure that that solenoid is not cutting off power. So I have set up the oscilloscope. Channel number 1 is this yellow trace. It's already showing 12 volts. That's the battery system voltage. Channel number 2 is I've put the amp clamp around the hot wire from the alternator that feeds the battery once it is charging. Once the alternator is charging, it charges the battery through that wire. So if there is any charging going on, we shall see it on that waveform. The bluish one, blue-greenish one, and then on the pink one, that is the fuel shut-off solenoid wire going to the pump. That should have 12 volts with the vehicle running. I want to be sure that nothing is falling out when this vehicle does its thing. So I'm going to prime it a bit. Priming is done. I have some wasps around here. I have to be careful. I'm looking out for, is it a couple or a trio of wasps around here? They are bad news. And when I keep quiet, just know maybe I've seen one and I'm trying to get out of its way. Anyway, key in the off position now. I'm going to put it in the on position. Hopefully on the camera you can see the pink trace. The lighting, there is a glare from behind the laptop, but there is little I can do about that for now. So I'm going to turn the key in the on position, in the ignition, and I don't see any activity. I see activity on the waveform for the system voltage. It went down a bit, and that worries me. Either the battery is bad, or something is really draining, is really taking current from that battery, because it fell from around 12 to about 10 volts. And I don't like that. Key out of in the off position now, and you see system voltage goes back up. At this point, this should stay level because that's alternator current. This, when I turn the key in the on position, I want to see battery voltage on it, but I'm not seeing it. It is purple one, purple pinkish. Oh, now there is. It came on and then it went away. I think that's okay. I think that's the ASD really auto shutdown really controlling that. It waits for a crankshaft position sensor signal, and then it will return voltage on that wire. I hope it does that. If it doesn't, then we'll have a problem with the crankshaft position sensor input. So I'm now going to crank engine. Yeah, and I can see we did have, this battery is really bad. You see voltage went way down, and I did save the screenshot on this. Forgive me for that. I haven't yet bothered to learn how to save waveforms using this oscilloscope. I keep telling myself I should find time and sit down and learn it. What I do is I save screenshots. So I save the screenshots of what we just did. Now the wasps are back. I don't know if you see them from time to time. There's one that hanging around the... Yeah, it's gone away. It's probably me disturbing them. Anyway, system voltage goes way down, like up to 6 volts when the cranking begins, and then you see those current ripples. That's that cylinder coming to top dead center in sequence. However, I'm seeing spikes there, which I don't know, maybe because it had funny cranking, maybe the battery is also funny causing that. And I also see this system voltage is followed very closely by this the fuel shut-off solenoid voltage. It should mirror system voltage, and that's fine. It's doing that, and we see a bit of current when the engine ran for a few seconds. You can see there was a bit of current, there was a bit of charging, and actually you see the system voltage also goes higher than 12 volts. It goes up to about 14 volts. In that respect, that means the alternator is at least working. The issue is probably its control. The computer doesn't like its control because this alternator is not for this vehicle. It has been hacked onto the system. Let me go back to the oscilloscope and do this thing again. I hope you can follow me closely. Let me try to change the time base, make it a little bit wider. It will be faster this time. Okay, key on, then crank. The battery is really running low, and I see something I don't like here. Yeah, that's okay. That's cylinders coming to dead center, but the battery is really weak, going down to about 5 or 6 volts. But I don't like this solenoid voltage falling out. I think it's because of the issues with the engine computer, which controls it, getting, shutting down when the voltage is too low. I think something like that is going on. However, the engine didn't run at all this time, so you don't see anything on the current end, on the current ramp. I'm going to try to crank it again, but I'm not very hopeful about the engine running. That is key on, and you see the moment the key goes on, voltage falls by about 2 volts. I think I'm going to need another battery on this vehicle. Key on again and crank. I think you can hear it. It has jammed. Bad battery. I have to stop and then put another battery on this and then come back to you. Okay, I've got a new battery on the vehicle. Key in the on position. Battery is a little bit better, but I still see voltage going down. I don't like that. In the opposition, see the voltage goes back up. System voltage goes back up to about 12. Ignition on, falls by about a voltage and a half. Not good, but at least the solenoid, this time, every time I turn the key in the on position, the solenoid comes alive and then is killed by the PCM. If I crank, I need to prime the after priming. If I crank, key in the opposition again, on, everything looks good up to that point. Crank it. Oh, bad connection. See, system voltage went way down. That was the loose battery cable. Key on. Key on now. Crank it. We didn't manage to catch that. Okay. Key on now. Off. On again. I want to crank it. Okay, we caught it this time, hopefully. Now I still have the old image in it. Need to do the test again. I pressed the wrong print screen button. I pressed the wrong button. I thought I pressed the print screen one. Oh, we missed it. I'm going to attempt it again. I think it's low on fuel now. I don't like that, those fallouts. I don't like that. I need to prime the fuel again. It's probably used up all the fuel that I pumped earlier. Okay, key off now. I'm going to turn it on. On now. Thank you. Okay, I hope you saw that. As soon as it runs, it cuts off. This is a good capture. System, we've changed batteries. Two batteries can't be bad all in the same way. So I think the alternate on this vehicle is taking too much current from I'm not very sure. It's just something I'm thinking about. It's taking too much current when you're cranking. It's taking too much current from the battery. The engine is doing the same thing, so you have very, very low voltage, system voltage. However, when it runs for a short time, um, the alternator does put out a bit of current, then it dies out, and the system voltage actually goes up when the alternator is charging. Yeah, system voltage does go up momentarily. I want to put this voltage in SC, the system voltage. I want to put an SC filter on it and see if we have excessive ripple on it. But even if we do, it wouldn't be an issue with regards to forcing the ECM to cut engine power. And I don't believe it is the ECU cutting engine power, because when the engine dies, the solenoid is still on. So I don't believe it is the ECU doing the thing. Looking at this, there are a few things I've discovered. One, there is a lot of current draw of the system once you turn the key in the on position. I'm suspecting that to be the alternator. I'm going to disconnect the alternator and see what happens. Two, system voltage goes way down. I think it still could be the alternator. I'm going to disconnect it again and try to see that. Alternator, in whatever format, hacked format it is in, seems to be putting out a bit of current, charging for the short time the engine runs. Three is this, the computer keeps the solenoid, the fuel cut-off solenoid alive, so it's not the computer doing the engine shutdown. This must be something else, and I will need to scratch my head a little bit further. I can't find any ripple. Okay, let me prove that. I don't see any ripple on the alternator current waveform. I supposed to see that on channel 1. I want to turn it to SC. It's down here now. I want to run it and see what happens. Okay, I'm going to crank it and see what happens. Okay, we caught at least the start of it. The system voltage is supposed to be this. I don't see a lot of ripple on it. Honestly, I don't see a lot of ripple. That doesn't look so bad. Let me narrow this to 1 volt and see how it responds to that. We keep missing the waveform, so what I'm going to do is change the time base back to 1 second. On and then crank. Did miss that. That's primed. Let's try cranking again. I'm going to wait for the update to come back. It's here. I want to wait for it to come back here. Well, I refuse to start now. Damn. Key in on position. Okay, we caught it very well this time. Let's try to analyze that and see. Ripple. I don't see excessive ripple. I push this to 1 volt. That doesn't look like a lot of ripple to me. There is something there which is not good, fine, but I have system voltage all the time. As you can see it from the solenoid. Let me disconnect the alternator. Okay, I've disconnected the alternator, and ideally we shouldn't see anything on this. We should see system voltage and then system voltage on this, and then SC ripple on that if there is any. You see we have system voltage, SD shuts it down. I want to crank it. Eh? Okay, key in the on position, crank it. Didn't catch anything. I'm waiting for the update screen to show. Taking its sweet time. I may need to start the software. Oh, I had a disconnection. Yeah, it's now on. I don't see excessive ripple. In any case, the alternator is now disconnected. Let me take this back into DC. 2 volts. So I want to see bring this back here. Channel 2 is in DC on channel 1 is the one I put in AC. So I want to see this one mirroring this one. Voltage still goes down even without the alternator. Print screen. I don't think this shutdown has anything to do with the alternator. We don't have any fault codes for the immobilizer. In any case, the immobilizer light disappears off the screen after a second or two. What is... I think we just have to wait for a good alternator on this vehicle. Because the only code we have now is for the field, alternator field something.